does.
The circumstances which led to my first meeting with Sherlock Holmes, a meeting which was to change and shape my life, are of no consequence, except to say that I had been serving as an army doctor in the Second Afghan War. I was wounded and dispatched home in frail health. For 9 months, I stayed in a private hotel in the Strand, leading a comfortless, meaningless existence, and spending as much money as I had, considerably more freely than I ought. So alarming did the state of my finances become, that I soon realized that I must either leave the metropolis and rusticate somewhere in the country, or make a complete alteration to my style of living. I was without the kit or kin to concern me, and therefore I was, I suppose, as free as air.
Or as free as an army pension of 11 shillings and 6pence a day will permit a man to be. Watson, tell the truth.
Oh!
Well, as much of it as your gullible public can digest. No. We shall not skirt round. Your gallant contribution to that disastrous war.
My part in it was insignificant.
Appointed assistant surgeon to the 5th Northumberland Fusiliers. You arrived in Bombay to find the Second Afghan War had broken out. You made your way through the passes deep into enemy territory. You reached Kandahar by a miracle, took up your duties. You were dispatched to join the Berkshires, just in time for the fatal Battle of Maiwand. You were struck in the shoulder by a Jezzail bullet which shattered the bone, grazed the subclavian artery. You would have fallen into the hands of the murderous Ghazis. But for the courage and devotion shown by your orderly. What was his name?
Murray.
Murray. Who threw you across a pack horse and brought you safely to the British line.
It is recorded. I have recorded.
That phrase that you used in your account to describe the London you found on your return.
Pray.
Oh, don't you remember that great cesspool into which all the idlers and loungers of the empire irresistibly drain?
I said that.
And since I've never known you to make a dishonest observation in your life, it was the truth. Oh, no, the fact is, the man I met at the chemical laboratory of Bart's hospital was penniless, exhausted, and deeply disillusioned. It was Stanford who introduced us, was it not?
Yes, he warned me against you.
I can't think why. I scarcely knew the fellow.
Well, he'd seen you in the dissecting room, beating the subjects with a stick, to verify how far bruises may be produced after death.
The enthusiasm of youth. No, I've always had a passion for definite and exact knowledge.
Holmes was looking for someone to go half with him in some lodgings he had found which were too much for his purse.
No. Do you mind the smell of strong tobacco?
Oh, no. I always smoke ships myself.
That's good enough. I tell you, I have chemicals about, and I occasionally do experiments. Would that annoy you?
By no means.
What are my other shortcomings? That is my share. I sometimes fall into the dumps, so I don't speak for days on end. You mustn't think I'm sulky when I do that. Just leave me alone, and I'll soon be all right. And please, listen.
Thank you.
What do you have to confess? Just as well for two fellows to get to know the worst of one another before they start living together.
Hell, I get up at all sorts of extraordinary hours. I'm extremely lazy. Oh, and I object to rows. My nerves are shaken.
You include the violin in your category of rows?
Violin? Well, that depends upon the player. A well-played violin is a treat for the gods. A badly played one.
Oh, that's all right, then. Whether we can consider the matter settled if the rooms are agreeable. You can manage the terms.
Yes, indeed.
Oh. You've been in Afghanistan, I perceive.
Yes. How the deuce did you know that?
Well, my reasoning tells me that here is a gentleman of a medical type, but with the air of a military man, clearly an army doctor then. He has just come from the tropics. But his face is dark, but that is not the natural tint of his skin, for his wrists up there. He has seen hardship and sickness. And his left shoulder has been wounded. Now, where in the tropics could an English army doctor have seen such hardship and got himself wounded? Clearly in Afghanistan.
That's wonderful.
That's commonplace. The whole thought did not occupy a second.
How do you put these powers to use?
It's my trade.
Trade.
I'm a consulting detective. It's high on my bread and cheese.
Oh, like, Edgar Allan Poe's Dupin.
Dupin.
Yeah.
I suppose you think you're complimenting me. Was a very inferior fellow. That trick it is of breaking in on a friend's thought with a clever remark. So showy, so significant.
Oh, well, he had some analytical genius.
But half as much as poet care to imagine.
Have you read Gaborio's works? No, Lecoq come up with your idea of
Lecoq! Miserable bungler! That book, it made me positively ill. You know, he took 6 months to identify an unknown poisoner. I could have done it in 24 hours.
Holmes,
Yeah.
do you think me impertinent if I put your gifts to a more severe test? I have here a watch which recently came into my possession. Would you do me the kindness to give an opinion as to the character or habits of the late owner?
There is hardly any data. It has recently been cleaned.
Yes. Yes.
Subject to your correction, I would say that it belonged to your elder brother, who inherited it from your father, H.W., who has been dead these many years. Your brother was left with good prospects, but he threw away his chances, lived for some time in poverty with occasional short intervals of prosperity, until finally, taking to drink, he died. That is all I can gather.
That is unworthy of you, Holmes. You have made inquiries into the history of my unhappy brother. It was Stanford, wasn't it? And now you pretend to deduce this knowledge in some fanciful way. It is not kind. And to speak plainly, it has a touch of charlatanism about it.
Well, my dear doctor, I crave your forgiveness. Viewing the matter as an abstract problem, I forgot how personal and painful a thing it might be to you. However, I do assure you, I didn't even know that you had a brother until you handed me that watch. If you look at it more closely, you will see that it is cut and marked all over from the habit of keeping it next to coins and keys in the same pocket. Thus your brother was careless. The watch is worth, shall we say, 50 guineas, so he was well provided for. Now, if you will look at the inner page, you will see that it does carry the mark of the pawnbroker. Look at those thousands of scratches around the keyhole. What sober man's key could have scored those grooves, and yet you'll never find a drunkard's watch without them. He winds it at night and leaves those traces of his trembling hand. The watch is now in your possession, so the poor fellow must have died. I mean, where is the mystery in all this?
That's wonderful.
No, it's not. It's elementary. But you'll learn my methods, Watson, in time. Hey! What is the use of having brains in my profession? I know that I haven't been to make my name famous. No man has ever lived who's brought the same amount of study and natural talent to the art of detection which I have done. But what is the result? But there are no crimes, no criminals these days.
Oh.
It's true that most of it is some bungling villainy with a motive so transparent that even a Scotland Yard detective could see through it. You bet.
Oh, no. Playing rugby for Blackheath was my maid's 40th year.
Bravo.
For the first week or so, we had no callers, and I concluded that Holmes was as friendless as I myself was. I soon found I was mistaken, however, when a stream of nondescript individuals began to arrive at odd hours. One little rat-faced, dark-eyed fellow, introduced to me as Mr. Lestrade. Oh, he came 3 or 4 times. Then I remember there was a grey-haired, seedy man, looking like a Jewish peddler. He was closely followed by a slipshod elderly woman, trailing a lame whippet, all of them preventing me the use of my own sitting room.
They are my clients. Would you mind leaving the room for an hour or so?
The next thing I noticed in those early days was that Holmes' ignorance was as remarkable as his knowledge.
Watson is very well read. He can quote anything from contemplative literature.
Upon my quoting Thomas Carlyle, he inquired in the naivest way what crime he had committed.
He is very well informed about the Copernican theory.
Our surprise reached the climax when I found him to be ignorant of the Copernican theory and the composition of the solar system.
Whereas I have no knowledge of such.
That any human being in the 19th century should not be aware that the Earth travels round the sun appeared to me to be such an extraordinary fact I could hardly believe.
But you see, Watson, I consider a man's brain to be like a little empty attic. And you must stock it with such furniture as you choose.
I drew up a list.
What?
Holmes, his limitations. Knowledge of literature, nil. Philosophy, nil. Astronomy, nil. Politics, feeble. Botany, variable. Well up in belladonna, opium, and poisons generally.
Only a fool takes in all the lump.
Knows nothing of practical gardening. Knowledge of geology, practical, but limited. Tells at a glance different soils from each other.
It's a mistake to think that little attic room has elastic walls.
Knowledge of chemistry, profound. Anatomy, accurate but unsystematic.
It is essential, therefore, not to have the useless fats elbowing out the useful ones.
He is familiar with 42 different impressions of bicycle tire. His knowledge of sensational literature, immense, appears to know every detail of every horror perpetrated in the century. Plays the violin well, is an expert single-stick player, boxer, swordsman, and has a good practical knowledge of British law.
You see, he lists all my virtues, ignores his own.
But the solar system...
What about it, Watson? I mean, now that you've told me, I shall do my best to forget it.
Forget it.
You don't mean that we go around the sun?
Yes!
If we went around the moon, it would not make a pennyworth of difference to me or my work.
When I first discovered his habit, I was appalled. Being a medical man, I knew the damage which brought more perils, my friend, than all the storms of his tempestuous life. Yet, I found I lacked the courage to protest. Again and again, I registered a vow that I would deliver my soul upon the subject.
Without Watson, I would have been dead within 2 years. A man needs a companion. He cannot sit alone. With his silent reproaches, his hurt look, Watson controlled my addiction. And our walks, our conversations, the sheer breadth and enthusiasm of his mind on any manner of subjects, kept me sane. When the black fits were upon me, there never was a better friend. And I treated him abominably. Watson, congratulate me. I'm engaged to be married.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Oh, the Milverton's housemaid. I needed information.
You've gone too far.
There is the most necessary step. I'm a plumber with a rising business. Escort, my name. I've walked with them, I've talked with the heavens, those talks.
But the girl!
Father, God wasn't God to help. One must play one's cards as best one can when such a stake is on the table. However, I do rejoice to tell you that I do have a hated rival who will cut me out the moment my back is turned. Ah, what a splendid night it is.
There was only one woman in Holmes' life. Her name was Irena Adler. She was an opera singer from New Jersey. Mistress to a king. And quite one of the most ravishing beauties I have ever seen. Oh, it was not that Holmes felt any emotion akin to love for her, but a trained reasoner to admit such intrusions might be to throw doubt upon all his mental results. But whenever he speaks of her, or refers to her photograph, it is always under the honorable title of the woman.
Watson, these are the records you keep of our cases. I cannot congratulate you upon them. Detection is or should be an exact science, and should be treated in the same cold and emotional manner. You have attempted to tinsel with romanticism, which has much the same effect as if it were a love story or development is the fifth proposition of Euclid.
At the beginning, I seem to remember you complimenting me on my honest observation.
What you see, what your pen commits to paper, they're two different things.
Well, would you have me describe you warts and all? Really, Holmes, I think this attack is quite unjustifiable. I have brought you in front of a wide public, demonstrated an insatiable appetite for your adventure, and they keep clamoring for more. The very least my words have done is to bring you to the attention of the most powerful and the most in need. I have created your business for you. Oh, yes. Would they know Sherlock Holmes? Would they know Baker Street without my publication?
We are far too sensitive. You cannot take a soup store of criticism.
Oh, well, can you, Holmes? Would you have me record your failure?
What then? It was a joke. No, your value to me is inestimable. You're right to chide me. But when my brain is inactive, Watson, I cannot help myself. How you have stuck it out these many years, I shall never know.
I stick it out, old man, because like you, I have to make a living.
But he was right. Oh, yes, he was right. You see, times are hard. Well, we are reaching the end of a century where the rich get richer and the poor become ever more neglected. Well, see, Watson, see. Those ragged little street urchins. The scarecrows. I mean, look at their naked feet and their eager, expectant faces. It's monstrous. Monstrous. Ah, what a cheery thing it is to leave London by any of these lines which run high and allow you to look down upon the houses.
What's there, Clapham? Those isolated clumps, the board school.
They're the lighthouses, my boy, beacons of the future, capsules with hundreds of little bright seeds each, out of which will spring the wiser, better England of the future.
Never ceases to amaze. Holmes' unexpected breadth of vision and compassion, so unworldly is he or so proficient, that he frequently refuses help to the powerful and wealthy where the problem makes no appeal to his simple wild. He will devote weeks of intense application to some humble client. Watson. Holmes? Oh,
So sorry, miles away. Did you say something?
you call me.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Well. The cruelty of parents to their children. My brother and I, forced by accepted convention of upbringing, into such a frosted, trapped, inhibited dark corner that we could not even communicate with each other. My father, absent, though never far away. I heard his voice, his step, but I scarcely exchanged a word with him until I was 12. And mother, poor creature, starved of affection. Yet I never heard her cry. Not one. Her boys shut away in the care of a nurse. Oh, that vicious nurse. And that house. Oh, the terror of silence. Oh, what's it? My ancestors were country squires, and seem to have lived a life that is natural to that class. Now, my faculties of observation and deduction may have come from my grandmother, who was a sister of Verne.
Verne?
The French artist. Oh, art in the blood is liable to take the strangest form.
How do you know that it's hereditary?
Because my brother, Mycroft, possesses it in a larger degree than I do.
Your brother? Oh, I didn't know you had a brother. Or relations of any sort. And to acknowledge a brother who is your superior.
You know, I cannot agree with those that rank modesty among the virtues. When I say that my brother Mycroft has better powers of observation than I, you may take it that I'm speaking the exact and literal truth.
Well, does he use these powers for detective work?
Well, if the art of detection began and ended in reasoning from an armchair, my brother would be the greatest criminal agent that ever lived. But he has no ambition, no energy.
Well, what is his profession then?
He works for the British government. Sometimes one might occasionally say that he is the British government. No, it's the truth, Watson. Do you know he has the greatest capacity for storing facts of any man living? Now listen, my lad. Ministers depend upon my brother. Time and time again, his word has decided the national policy. But my brother is Jupiter. And yet his temperament fixes him to a salary of a mere £450 a year. He will receive neither honour nor title, and yet remains the most indispensable man of the country. Now, you see that little doorway over there? What?
Oh, yes.
That is the entrance to the Diogenes Club.
The Diogenes Club? I cannot recall the name.
It contains some of the most unsociable and unclubbable men in London. No member is permitted to take the least notice of any other. No talking is permitted under any circumstances, save in the strangers' room. My brother was a founder member. And I have myself found it a very soothing atmosphere.
Is your brother there now?
Oh, he's always there, every evening, between 5:15 and 20 minutes to 8.
Well, am I permitted to meet him?
Too late, Watson. It's just 5 past.
He must have been a remarkable boy to have grown up with. Your household must have been extraordinarily alive with intellectual pursuit.
How much one conceals from a friend. Even a friend as close to me as Watson. How much one covers up. Oh, it was, Watson, it was. Vividly alive!
It pleases me when Holmes feels he can talk frankly about himself. It removes the impression he gives to others, and to myself I confess at times, that he is an isolated phenomenon, a prey without a heart, as deficient in human sympathy as he is preeminent in intelligence.
Oh, Watson, you come at a crisis. If this remains blue, all is well. If it turns red, it means the man's life. Yes. Hardwicke is an instant. You'll find fresh tobacco in the slipper. Quite a commonplace for murder.
So you have something better?
You are the stormy petrel of crime, Watson. What is it?
I'm engaged to be married, Holmes. To Mary Morstan.
The heiress.
Oh, well, if you remember, she lost her fortune.
But how many of these that you feel sufficiently recovered in your ordeals in Afghanistan to be able to contemplate matrimony?
Oh, well, you must take credit for that. It is my acquaintance with you that has revived my spirit.
No.
Yes.
You'll be leaving Baker Street.
Well, naturally. You know that for some time. I've had a hankering after a return to medicine. And I managed to secure a practice.
The practice needs a wife.
It helps.
This is excellent. Oh, excellent. Really, it calls for a celebration.
What, shall I bring her over?
Yes, do. We'll take the dear, sweet creature to Covent Garden.
Oh!
It's a Wagner night, I think.
Well, naturally, I have discussed it on my role as your pal and frequent companion on your adventures, and she readily assures me that she has no objection to my continuing. Oh, if time permits.
Time, Watson, yes, time. Well. But there are a few women in my experience who would be so generous. I'm fond of her already.
Thank you, Holmes. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Oh, Wagner. If music be the food. Mary Morstan is delightful. Very good for Watson, no doubt. I'm lost. I'm lost without my Boswell.
For the first few months of my marriage, I've seen little of Holmes. My own complete happiness and home-centered interests have been sufficient to absorb all my attention. While Holmes, who loathes every form of society with his bohemian soul, remains at our lodgings at Baker Street, alternating between cocaine and ambition, the drowsiness of the drug, and the fierce energy of his own keen nature.
Professor Moriarty, I presume. When the time is right, my friend. When the time is right.
Holmes, can I be of assistance?
Yes. Yes, your presence might be invaluable.
You speak of Dave. You are afraid of something.
Yes, I am.
Of what?
Air guns!
Holmes!
Ah,
I brought you a cake. Mary baked it especially for
tell me, how is Mrs. Watson?
Oh, she's extremely well. Send you her
Oh,
compliment.
this is kind. Good dear. So kind. Watson, I think you know very well enough to understand that I am, well, by no means a nervous man. But it would be stupidity, rather than courage, to refuse to admit danger when it is close upon you. So sorry, do you have a match?
Oh, yes, of course.
I suppose you have never heard of Professor Moriarty?
Never.
There is the genius and the wonder of the thing. The man pervades London, and yet no one has heard of him. That is what sets him on a pinnacle.
What's he done?
He is the Napoleon of crime, Watson. He is the organizer of half that is evil, and nearly all that is undetected in this a great city. He's a genius, an abstract thinker, a philosopher, the brain of the first order. He sits motionless like a spider at the center of its web. But that web has 1,000 radiations. But he knows well every quiver of each of them.
What is it today, morphine or cocaine?
Don't you dare you. Cocaine. A 7% solution. If you can't try it.
No, indeed. My constitution has not got over the Afghan campaign yet. I cannot afford to throw any extra strain upon it.
You're probably right, Watson. I suppose physically its reaction is a bad one. But I find it so transcendentally stimulating and clarifying to the mind that its secondary action is a matter of small moment.
But consider, count the cost. Your brain may be roused and excited, but it's a pathological and morbid process. Involves increased tissue shedding. May at the very least leave a permanent weakness. You know, too, what a black reaction comes upon you, surely. Surely the game is hardly worth the candle. Now remember, I speak not only as one comrade to another, but as a medical man.
But my mind rebels at stagnation! Give me problems, give me work, give me the most abstruse cryptogram or the most critical analysis, and I'm in my own proper atmosphere. I can dispense then with artificial stimulus. But Watson, I bore this dull routine of existence. I crave mental exaltation. That is why I've chosen my own particular profession, or rather created it. For I am the only one in the world.
The strain caused by my friend's immense mental exertions in solving a number of cases, his dependence on drugs, and his continuing obsession with Professor Moriarty give me much cause for concern.
Watson,
My dear fellow, come in!
I hope I might not be too late to catch you.
No.
Or you still smoke that Arcadia mixture of our bachelor days. There's no mistake that not the act upon your lapel. Oh, there's no gentleman visitor at present. Your hat stand proclaims as much. I'll fill a vacant chair.
Oh, please, please, please. Oh,
You're surprised to see me. Relieved too, no wonder. Oh, you've had the British workman in the house.
yes.
He is a token of ego. Not the brains, I hope.
Oh, the gas.
His left two little marks, just here. With his boot on your linoleum, do you see, just where the light strikes it?
Oh, yes, yes.
No, thank you, I've had dinner. At Waterloo Station.
Ah,
Is Mrs. Watson up?
no, she's away on a visit.
Then you're alone.
Quite.
Oh, well, that does make it easier. For me to propose that you should come away for a week on the continent to Switzerland.
What happened on that fateful trip is well recorded, and it is not a subject upon which I would willingly dwell. But should there be anyone here ignorant of that appalling event, let me simply say that near the Swiss village of Meiringen, at the falls of Reichenbach, where the torrent, swollen by the melting snow, plunges into a tremendous abyss, Holmes finally confronted his arch enemy, Moriarty. I lost a friend. One whom I regarded as the best and wisest man I've ever known.
What a lovely thing a rose is. There is nothing in which deduction is so necessary as in religion. It can be built up as the exact science by the reasoner. Our highest assurance of the goodness of Providence seems to me to rest in the flowers. All other things, our fires, our desires, our food, are only necessary for our existence in the first instance. But a rose is an extra. Its smell and its color are an embellishment of life, not a condition of it. It is only goodness which gives extra. And so I say again, we have much to hope from the flower.
Holmes.
I'm here, my friend.
Holmes! Can I be of assistance? My sense of loss was compounded by the sudden tragic death of my wife, Mary.
Watson, work is the best antidote to sorrow.
It can be imagined that my close intimacy with Sherlock Holmes had interested me deeply in crime. And since his disappearance, I have never failed to read with care all the various problems which come before the public. Among these unfinished cases is that of Mr. James Philomen, who, stepping back into his own house to get his umbrella, was never more seen in this world. No less remarkable was that of the cutter, Alicia, which sailed one spring morning into a small patch of mist, from which she never again emerged, nor was anything further heard of herself or of her crew. A third case worthy of note is that of Isidore Prassana, the well-known journalist and duelist. He was found, stark, staring mad, with a matchbox in front of him, which contained a remarkable worm, said to be unknown to science. And during these 3 years, I had even attempted more than once to employ Holmes' method, though with indifferent success. One such case recently was the tragic murder of the Honorable Ronald Adair. While standing outside the house where this terrible event took place, I accidentally struck against an elderly bookseller, spilling a pile of books from his hand. My attempted apology was greeted with a snarl of contempt.
Here I have a conscience, sir. I said to myself, I'll just call in and see that time doctor. But if I was a little gruff in my manner, then I meant no harm by
You
it.
make too much of a trifle, sir. Oh, may I ask how you know who I am?
Well, I own the little bookshop on the corner of the church. Always very happy to see you at any time. Perhaps you collect. I have here British birds, Catullus, the Holy War.
I wonder if you mind...
Volumes, everyone.
Would you mind waiting outside?
Just the thing that every man needs these days, you know, to complete his library.
I have a little patient here who requires my urgent attention.
Watson, it is so good to stretch oneself. Do you know, it's no joke taking a foot at one's height for several hours on end. Watson! I owe 1,000 apologies. I had no idea that you'd be so effective.
that plays quick one of these days when they're busy. I'd love to know how he does it. Yeah, because my husband should be chasing around the house. I thought he wants sex. I thought, for God's sake, give it to them. She don't understand you. Some game. I think she's thinking, if I told you, let me. Oh, God. Oh, really? Stop one in your face.
Books, papers, chemical equipment, violin.
My brother, Mycroft, is there.
You chose Mycroft as your confidant before me.
But I had to confide in someone in order to obtain the money that I need.
I could have sent you money.
Well, it was.
I could have sold my
I
practice.
wouldn't have dreamed of such a thing.
It isn't doing very well.
Who'd they got from?
Where have you come from?
I returned this morning from the south of France, drawn by the news of this remarkable murder of the Honourable Ronald Adair. And at 2 o'clock this afternoon I found myself in my old chair, only wishing I could see my old friend sitting in the other chair, which he so often adorned.
What did our housekeeper say when you walked through the door?
I'm afraid I'll try dear Mrs. Hudson into a fit of hysterics. Are you not pleased to see me?
Of course I'm pleased to see you. I'm overjoyed.
Everything I did was for the best. There was reasons I had. Now, many times during the past 3 years, I have taken up my pen to write for you. But always I feared that an affection of regard to me might tempt you to some indiscretion which would betray my secret. But
You value our friendship as little as that. Whatever your reason, I could have accommodated it. Just a word, a simple note.
my pen
Is any secret so precious that a man can allow his closest friend to believe him to be dead for 3 whole years? Consider the reverse. If I had disappeared without a word to you, would you not take it as a trifle unfeeling of me?
I have considered it uncharacteristic. I have examined the data, drawn my conclusions.
Coldly, without emotion.
I've offended you deeply. If I was to tell you what happened, could you find it in your soul to forgive me?
I should like to hear what happened at Reichenbach.
Oh, very well then, you shall. About that chasm. I have a serious difficulty in getting out of it, Watson, for the very simple reason that I never was in it.
You never were in it.
No. The note that I wrote to you was absolutely genuine. But you see, I realized that my life had reached its crisis long before I saw the sinister figure of the late Professor Moriarty on the narrow path which led to safety. He drew no weapon, but rushed at me, flung his long arms around me. He knew that his own game was on. He was only anxious to revenge himself upon me. We tottered together on the brink of the fall. I have, however, some knowledge of Baritsu, or the Japanese system of wrestling, which more than once has been very useful. I watched him fall a long way. He struck a rock, bounced off, vanished.
But the tracks! I saw them with my own eyes. 2 went down the path, and none returned.
That was the truth, but you see, the moment the professor disappeared, I realized what an extraordinary lucky chance fate had placed in my ways. I knew the professor was not the only person who had sworn my death. There was Colonel Moran, and at least 2 others. Sooner or later, one of them would get me. On the other hand, if I could convince the whole world that I too was dead. Now, in your picturesque account of the matter, which I read some months later with the greatest interest, you assert that the rocky place behind him sheer. However, certain footholds did present themselves, and there was some indication of a leg. I mean, if I had returned along the wet path, I should have left evidence of my survival.
You could have reversed your boots. As you have done on similar occasions.
I could remember. I decided to risk the climb. It was not a personal business, Watson. I am not a fanciful person, but I give you my word, I seem to hear the professor's voice screaming at me out of the abyss. Many times I thought I would be gone. Tufts of grass came away in my hand, my feet slipped off a wet rock. Finally, I did reach that ledge, which was covered in the most beautiful soft green moss, where I could stretch out in the most perfect comfort. And I was there, my dear Watson, when you and your following were investigating in the most sympathetic and inefficient manner the circumstances of my death. When you had all formed your inevitable and totally erroneous conclusions, you all departed for the hotel. And I was left alone.
You were left alone.
And suddenly a huge rock boomed past me. And looking up, I saw a man's head against the darkening sky. And then another rock landed not a foot away from my head on the ledge. And of course, the meaning was obvious. The professor had not been alone. I had no time to think of the danger. I slithered down from the ledge. I took to my heels. I did 10 miles in the darkness over the mountains. And a week later, I found myself in Florence with the certainty that no one in the world knew what had become of me. Yes.
Some time after my story of your death was published, I received a letter of my surgeon. It stated simply that Professor Moriarty was alive, that he had never met you at the falls, was not in Switzerland at the time, and that my account, therefore, was a tissue of lies.
Did you keep this letter?
Oh, I had it somewhere in my possession.
No.
Of course, if I can lay my hands on it.
I think it is safe to assume that it was from a confederate. But why should they inform you?
Not to discredit you.
But if I'm dead?
Your memory, then, the legend of Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, that is interesting. But my dear Watson, how did you respond to this amazing letter?
I put myself in your shoes. I placed an advertisement in the Times, the gist of which was that you would be at a certain place at a certain hour and would welcome some proof. Perhaps the professor himself.
Excellent, my brave Watson. How did you sign it?
Oh, some name or other I forget, but the inference was clear.
Where was the rendezvous to be kept? Because I'm not convinced it was a member of Moriarty's gang.
Why, here in these rooms. Where else?
Here, how clever.
You have not asked the question. I would have expected it. It would be logical to assume that these rooms had been let to someone else.
Watson, you've been a very diligent student. And you have graduated with honors. Would you explain to me?
Some weeks before, I found I had mismade some medical notes. And I concluded that they must be here, among your papers. I called on Mrs. Hudson and learned that your brother Mycroft had instructed her to keep these rooms just as they were, and had continued to pay the rent. It was my first intimation that you were still alive.
So, at the appointed hour you arrived. You sat in your old chair, but of course nobody came.
I sat for 6 hours. How would you know nobody came? Why should they not come?
But why should they? I never left it was merely to put an idea into your head that I had somehow lied to you and tricked you at Reichenbach.
That was their scheme. It was a notable failure.
You merely slept with your pistols under your pillow for the next 2 months and then dismissed the whole fanciful notion from your head.
No. I went to see Mycroft, who received me with a certain stiff cordiality at the Diogenes Club.
Mycroft?
In the strangers' room. Very soothing atmosphere. If a little misanthropic. I put it to him bluntly. I said I thought you were alive and that he knew of your whereabouts.
What did he say to that?
He twitched.
He was sworn to secrecy.
Oh, he was as good as his word on that account. He explained that he had preserved Baker Street as a memorial to you. On a whim. But your training me in the observation of human behavior, Holmes, had not been in vain. Didn't you once tell me that the human features are faithful servants to their emotions? It was not your brother's face which shows no emotion whatsoever, but the persistent tapping of the fingers of his left hand which drew my attention.
He's right-handed.
He had a large brandy and soda in his right hand. That never wavered. After a period of some 11 minutes, he pleaded urgent business and I left. I looked back through the window. He hadn't shifted an inch.
You know, Watson, I really am dumbfounded. No, I'm immensely proud of.
Thank you, old man, but my visit had not answered the burning question. I knew you were alive, but in what condition and where? I did wonder if you traveled east.
It's rather. You're right. I went to Tibet. I amused myself by visiting Lhasa. And I spent some days with the Holy Lama.
Was that instructed?
It was illuminating. You may have read of the explorations of a Norwegian called Sigerson, but I'm sure that it never occurred to you that you were receiving news of your friend.
Sigerson. Sigerson, that comes back to me. That was the name that I used in my advertisement. When did you go off to Tibet?
No, I passed through Persia, and then I looked in at Mecca.
You looked in at Mecca?
Had a very short but interesting visit to the Caliphate of Khartoum. The results of which I have communicated through the Foreign Office of Basel. This knowledge of my existence, so dear friend, how did you deal with it?
Well, after my visit to Mycroft, I felt certain that I would receive a letter from him. When I didn't, a month passed, a year, then 2, I was forced to the conclusion that you had met with some misfortune in the East and had died there unnoticed and unmoored. When you came back as that bookseller, I fainted because, quite frankly, I'd given you up.
Spark?
Where did you go after Khartoum?
No, I spent some months researching into the coal tar derivatives, which I conducted at a laboratory at Montpellier in the south of France. And it was there, Watson, that I heard of your sad bereavement.
But how did you hear about Mary?
My brother. He informed me he'd seen your advertisement in the Times. I'm so sorry, Watson. There's no reasoning with the fates. I mean, it might seem to be a solution. Your room, you know, is still here, just as it was. Shall I alert Mrs. Hudson? Yeah. There are certain people to whom one cannot lie. My friend is one of them. But there are certain truths which cannot be told easily. Sometimes one longs to be found out.
Hello!
Yes, I'm here.
What are you going to use, fellow?
What?
Oh, I managed to sell my practice.
Oh, you said...
Yes, a young doctor called Werner has given me the remarkably little review, the highest price I dare ask.
You say Werner?
Werner!
Werner?
Werner, of course. Your grandmother, sister to Verney, the French artist. Really?
No, it's a coincidence.
Oh, come along.
Shall we say then a distant relation? Well, it's done. No, there's no more to be said all of a sudden.
Impossible.
Anything in the newspaper?
Oh, there's news of a revolution in South America, possible war in Africa, impending collapse of government. Nothing to interest you.
What do the public, the great unobservant public, who can hardly tell a weaver by his tooth or a compositor by his left thumb, care about the finer shades of deduction and analysis? When Anno Domini finally claims me, Watson, I shall take up philosophy. And agriculture. And beekeeping.
Well, philosophy, I understand, after your sojourn in Tibet. Agriculture, I question.
Oh, no, with a spark, a tin box, a beginner's book on botany, there are many instructive days to be spent.
Beekeeping?
No one learns much about human nature from the study of the bee, as one learns from the study of people.
What are you going to do with all this knowledge?
I shall store it, like honey. Observation and deduction, Watson, observation and deduction.
Well, surely the one, as to some extent, implies the other.
Quickly, Watson, go to that window. Look at the lady down there under the lamp. Oh, she's just glanced up. Yes. Take your time. Oh, no, she's moving away. What did you gather from her appearance? Describe it.
Oh, dear. Well, she had a broad-brimmed, slate-coloured straw hat with a feather, a brickish red feather. She had a black jacket, a brown dress, with a little purple plush at the sleeves and neck. Ah, now, yes. She had greyish gloves, which were worn through at the right forefinger.
And her boots?
Boots? No, I didn't observe the boots. Oh, she had a small pair of round gold hanging earrings. And she had the general air of being fairly well-to-do in a vulgar, comfortable, easy-going sort of world.
Well done.
Thank you.
No, really, you're coming along very well indeed.
Thank you, Holmes.
It is true that you have missed every point of importance. You have hit upon the method, and you have a quick eye for colour. What you failed to observe is that she was short-sighted. A dint of the power snare on either side of the nose. She'd come out in odd boots, and she'd written a note, in haste, before leaving.
No, oh, come on.
You observe that her right glove was torn, but you failed to notice that both glove and forefinger were stained with violet ink. Is this silly? But really, you know, it's so elementary.
Life is infinitely stranger than anything that the mind of man could invent. Don't you think, Holmes?
You know, if we could fly out of this window, hand in hand, hover over this great city, gently remove the roofs, and peep in. But the strange coincidences, the plannings, the cross purposes, the wonderful chain of events, moving through generations and leading to the most outre results. It would make all fiction, with its conventionalities and foreseen conclusions, most stale and unprofitable. Sometimes I can catch the fragments of a scent.
You all right, old man?
Yes, I'm bored, Russell, bored. All this talk, rooftops, windows, and women. London has become a singularly uninteresting city. Since the death of the late Moriarty, Professor Moriarty, you recall Miss Elena Adler? Of course.
How could I forget her?
Because I believe I can hear her chanting voice.
She's a married woman, Holmes.
She was. She died. Alone in Biarritz. Mycroft saw a small announcement in the Times.
You still carry her photograph?
Somewhere. Amongst all the jumble of my papers. But where? Ah, what are you? Traitorous! All the ghosts of the past, all of them! So sorry, I don't wish to remake memories of your great loss. I was selfishly exercising my own.
There's no doubt.
Please forgive me.
Yeah.
Watson, did you know that Professor Moriarty has a brother who is a station master in the West Country?
No. It doesn't surprise me to hear that some trains run in the family, so to speak.
Really?
Well, didn't Moriarty, he drove the engine past Canterbury Station when we were endeavoring to escape the country?
Yes, it was.
No, of course. Colonel James Moriarty, who defended the memory of his brother in the press when the tragedy of Reichenbach was made.
Colonel James Moriarty, I don't...
Oh, good heavens, it was those infamous lessons which prompted me to hum what I believed at the time to be the true Poincaré.
Watson, who do you see in front of you?
Right here, of course. My friend Sherlock Holmes.
Flat?
That book looks out, but
Not
I don't know, one of your idlers, loafers. Well, that's the foolish twerp, and I recognize him.
And now? Ah, it is evident that you don't know me.
On the contrary, I think it's fairly evident that I do.
It has been an intellectual treat to duel with you, Mr. Holmes. You think you can beat me? You will never, never beat me. And if you are clever enough to bring destruction upon me, rest assured that I shall do as much for you. Is the whole bed of the ocean overrun with them? Are there no natural enemies to limit the increase of these creatures? Oh, now, Watson, leave me.
I have no intention of leaving you. You are sick, and I must treat you.
Well, if I did have a doctor, at least I may have one in whom I have confidence.
You have none in me, huh?
In your friendship, yes. But facts are facts, Watson. I mean, you're only a general practitioner with limited experience and mediocre qualifications.
That is unworthy of you, Holmes, and shows me very clearly the state of your nerves.
So I demonstrate your ignorance. What do you know about the Tapanuli fever? What do you know about the Black Formosa corruption?
I have never heard of either.
There are many strange pathological disorders in the East.
You may have no confidence in me, but during the past few days, I have brought Sir Jasper Meek, Penrose Fisher, and Dr. Ainstree, the foremost living authority on tropical diseases, all of them to your bedside.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I had no wish to alarm you. I'm afraid I am beyond the medical pay.
A very good reason. That you have no diagnosable symptom.
But I have devised my own remedy. It requires not your medical skills, which I'm sure are more than adequate, but your powers of deduction and logic. Will you assist me?
In any way I can.
Thank you so much. Well, you see, my illness comes from the brain. Not as cocaine, the answer. I've tried it. Only the brain has the cure.
Just tell me what you want me to do.
Well, I wish to offer you the hypothesis that Professor Moriarty did not exist, that I invented him.
My dear! Oh,
You must challenge me at every point. I made in your painted claret, there's fresh tobacco in the Persian slipper. Are you game for this?
of course, if you
Thank
insist.
you. Well, it was the summer of '87, I think. Yes, '87. But the idea first came to me. It may have come from one of my black fins. It probably did, I forget. But its practicality is purely logical. I am an acknowledged expert in all matters criminal. Now, if I could invent a mastermind that could draw to it like a spider or the nefarious flies into its web, how much easier it would be to keep my finger on the pulse. I took my idea to my brother Mycroft of the Diogenes Club. He's a tranced. He reached out his services without...
That man,
Drew, please.
Moriarty is known to others. I have seen his biography in publication. His education is listed, his class...
Most of the information you received, Watson, came from my own lips, and naturally you were to trust it, cross-check. But there are facts known about his remarkable career which can be verified, for the very simple reason that I put them about myself. May I continue?
By all means.
I took the name of an old mathematics professor that I had known at university. But he was a sweet man. He's far removed in temperament from my creation as anyone could ever be.
Was he then the author of that book?
The Dynamics of an Asteroid, you've only said.
I seem to remember you telling me that it touched such rarefied heights of pure mathematics that no member of the scientific press could possibly quiz
For a
them.
very simple reason that no one had ever read it. It was a poor man's life's work. It remains totally obscure and impenetrable.
Where did you base this operation?
Here in Baker Street. What? Don't you remember those odd occasions when I asked you to leave the room for an hour or so?
Well, Moriarty here. All the world knows Sherlock Holmes lives here.
Yeah, it was a small conceit. But Moriarty occasionally played the cuckoo in Holmes' series. It may surprise you to learn that it was very necessary for me to appear in public as Moriarty in Troy. Once, in the grill room of the Savoy Hotel, and once in the waiting room of Crew Station, I think.
Oh! Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. We saw him together. On the station platform at Canton.
That was my brother Mycroft.
Moriarty's brother. The colonel who wrote defending him in the...
Mycroft again on a whim.
Reichenbach!
Don't you remember that you received a letter to the effect that the professor never was in
Oh,
Switzerland?
Mycroft wrote that.
There was almost certainly written by Colonel Moran, his confession.
You told me that Moriarty supplied Colonel Moran liberally with money. Now, surely, that cannot have been your own money.
No, of course not. I invented that for my own amusement.
If you invented it for your own amusement, it was at my expense. I really don't think I can believe anything you ever say again.
Well, with any care.
I fail to see where it is leading.
You will! I beg of you to continue!
Moriarty was seen at the Hotel of Marne.
My third appearance, a brief one, merely for local colour.
And Colonel Moran, arriving at the falls. If you were alone, what was he doing?
That, ironically, was fact. I'd intimated to Moran that I was to meet Sherlock Holmes for the final resolution, thinking that his master had been killed. Moran tried to avenge.
The air gun. The air gun! With which Colonel Moran shot Ronald Adair. Now, you told Inspector Lestrade that Moriarty had ordered it from the German mechanic von Herden. Now, was it you? Was it you who commissioned that?
Well, I've done things in many areas of my life which of a time I believe to be for greater good. But we've just taken some unfortunate victim along the way. Watson, you must take me as you...
I find that an abhorrent answer, Holmes. I cannot accept it.
You wish me to eliminate the lives, say...
No! I cannot accept it. Anyway, there's only one question which concerns me before we abandon this fool's journey.
Help me.
If you did indeed create this monster, what prompted you to destroy him?
Ah! I could not live with him! It was either him or me! And I had considered both solutions. When the moment came, I decided to give myself one final chance.
Tibet.
Because I thought I might find something there.
And what did you find?
It's horrible name in there. No solution. Nothing to exercise my mind beyond the arid abstractions of philosophy. You see, they are a sweet and gentle people, Watson, seldom vindictive and therefore no crimes. No mysteries to solve. Once I thought I had stumbled upon one. The brutal and motiveless dismembering of a goat. I applied my usual methods, so my Watson was a bright-eyed child of 12, the son of one of the village elders. In the space of a single afternoon, he presented me with 7 clues, all of which I missed. But he had the culprit gibbering his confession in my nightfall. He'll be examined. No, I was out of my element. I missed the thronging streets of London. And your companionship.
Ah. I, too, was out of my element.
An elementary diagnosis which the Lama made. He said, "There's nothing for you here, Mr. Holmes. Return to Watson." C'est pas pour les lampes.
And then he added,
But there is a price you must pay. The man you killed has not left you. Your friend and your enemy are one.
Now, I have Moriarty. But what's it that you for?
But his meaning was clear. You cannot have Watson without Moriarty, you cannot have Moriarty without Watson, and without both of them there is no Holmes. The three of us are inextricably bound, you see.
Moriarty is dead. You killed him.
Because I killed him, I killed him at Reichenbach, because he was so faithfully recovered.
That is the truth.
The absolute truth. You do believe me?
I have always believed you.
But you see, it was the continuing presence of that malignant brain in mine which caused my collapse. And my unruly behavior, for which once again, Watson, I crave your forgiveness. No, my hypothesis was a quixotic act to rid myself of no escape by cold, precise mind against any deviltry. And I really do believe that my hypothesis would have stood the test of pure reasoning had not you, also typically my friend, thrown morality into the works. No sidestepping that.
Now, she served its purpose and she recovered, released. As to your health, I can only pray that there will be no successor to Professor Moriarty.
You missed the point entirely. There must be a successor for my sanity. Your Honor accompanied that he is that many-headed fighter. As soon as one head is cut off, another grows in its place. It is essential, Watson, for our well-being that there should always be somewhere a Moriarty among us.
That you'd find many decent citizens agreeing with you there. Cannot we beat off the stories beneath the roofs of ordinary people? Peep in the strange coincidences, the planning, the cross purposes, the wonderful chain of events leading to the most outre result.
Did you say that? I seem to hear my voice.
Your voice, my voice, they're all inextricably bound, aren't they?
Watson, you are developing a vein of talking humor against which I must learn to guard myself. Will you be committing to print these secrets that we shared this evening? Verbatim.
Ah. I shall, as always, respect your wish, Holmes, and select, tone, transpose, and omit, and I hope fulfill the expectations of your adoring public.
Humbly grateful. Thank you. You are the one fixed point in a changing world.
Who can that be, huh?
Unless I'm mistaken, it's a Clarence.
That's